So today we are going to configure the DNS on Cisco Packet Tracer. So today we are going to implement the DNS on Cisco Packet Tracer. So for that, first start the Cisco Packet Tracer. I am using the version 7.0. So now our objective is to configure the routing internet protocol and to configure the domain name system on Cisco Packet Tracer 7.0. For that, first I am making or creating a basic architecture, basic two network connecting together, and then we will implement the DNS onto it. So let us take two routers which are used to connect two networks. Then we are taking two switches, and onto one router in one network we are connecting one PC, and to the another switch and router we are connecting the web server, one server. Now connected to the cables, now this is our basic setting of network. We have two networks. Now the step 1. First of all, we will configure the PC with static IPv4 addressing. So for that, click on to the PC, click the config tab, go to the desktop, IP configuration, then give the IP address 192.168.10.1, and the subnet mask will automatically be taken. Then the default gateway. The gateway address is the router's address onto which our network is connected through other networks. So we are going to give the default gateway address as 192.168.10.10, and it is the address of the DNS server from where we are getting the information. So we are giving the DNS server addresses 192.168.20.1. Close the PC window. Now step 2. Now we are going to configure the server. So click on to the server, config tab, and in the global setting give the gateway address of the router onto which this server is connected. So give the address 192.168.20.10. The gateway router's address is this, and the DNS server is again 192.168.20.1. The display name here is server 0. We are giving it the DNS server or web server. Now click on to the desktop tab, then give the IP configuration. The IP address of this web server is 192.168.20.1. which is also the DNS server. So the IP of this DNS server is 192.168.20.1. Now close the window. So now we have configured the PC as well as the server. Now the third step. The third step is configuration of router so that the routing internet protocol must be implemented. So click on to the router, click on to the router and then click on the CLI tab. Now we will configure that router. So no, we do not want a dialog configuration. So here you will see that there is a router prompt. So what we have to enable that router. So give command enable. After that we will configure the terminal. So config terminal. So the interface, here you can see the interface. We will configure both of the interface connected to the router. This one is the GIG0/0 and this interface is the GIG0/1. We are going to configure both of the interface to that router. So to configure it, interface GIG interface GIG0/0 IP address. We are giving the IP address, which is router will have more than one IP address. How many connections it have? It has the number of IP addresses. So the interface is having the IP address 192.168.10.10. Okay. After that we have to give the subnet mask, which is 255.255.255.0. Enter. No shutdown. Now exit and in the same way configure the other interface which is connected to the router. So that interface is interface which is GIG0/1. The IP address we are going to give is 192.168.40.1. After that the subnet mask 255.255.255.0. No shutdown. So first router is configured and you can see we have a green light signaling the first phase. Now in the same way we have to configure our router. So close this, click on to the router 2 and perform the same steps which we have performed to configure the first one. So no, enable config terminal, interface. So interface through which it is connected, first interface is GIG0/0. The IP address we are going to give 192.168.20.10. No shutdown. The next interface GIG0/1. IP address 192.168.40.2. 255.255.255.0. No shut down. So all the signals are up, all the interfaces are up. Now the next step is to implement the RIP. So click on the first router, select the config tab, and then select the routing RIP. Now here we have to add the IP addresses of both the interfaces connected to that router. So the first interface address is 192.168.10.10. So we will add this. Another one is 192.168.40 192.168.40.0. This is the another network. Add 192.168.40.0. So both the addresses are added. Now the same we have to do with this second one, config tab, routing RIP, and both the interfaces address 192.168.20.10. Add 192.168.40.0. In this way, the RIP is implemented. Now, if we want to check that whether this is pinging to the router or not, so let us try command prompt ping 192.168.10.10 replying. So network is working fine. Now we have implemented the RIP, we will implement the DNS. Now click onto the web server, go to the services tab, click the tab in DNS service we have to on and add the DNS name and address as a record. So name is www.testdns.com and the IP address is 192.168.20.1. Add. Now go to the PC web browser and type 192.168.20.1. Go. So this Cisco Packet Tracer page is opening. But as we have implemented a DNS, so without IP address, we will give the DNS name and it should be open. So I'm going to give www.testdns.com. Go. So here you can see we are having this page again. So I guess because this page was initially open, you will not see the changes. So I'm opening it again so that you can easily see the changes. Web browser, and I am writing www.testdns.com. So here you can see go, and this page has opened. So we have implemented the DNS successfully. I hope this session is increasing your knowledge and you will be able to implement the DNS onto your Cisco Packet Tracer.